Everyone, welcome back to No Cap Ep 4. Here with the Bass. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Sol?
Same old, same old. Another big week in rugby league. Round 4. We saw plenty of action. The Broncos, Dragons, same old story. Probably even got worse for them. I don't know. I don't know where they go from now, man, because both coaches seem as lost as each other. The players have no answers. Personally, I think the Broncos are in a worse position than the Dragons at the moment. What do you think?
I don't think anyone's worse than Dragons at the moment. To lose to the Bulldogs the way that they did, I would never have predicted that. Yeah.
I thought that, look, last week, I know we didn't show the video, obviously, but I thought the Dogs were a chance just because of how bad the Dragons were against the Warriors. I just thought they had no confidence, but the Broncos, for me, well, I think they're worse off. I think the coach he's run out of ideas. He doesn't know what to do now. He's shuffled the whole team for this week. We'll come to it against Manly. He's playing people out of position against an established side like that. The Dragons have the names, have the experience to get back on track, especially now that they're committed to the coach again.
You got to remember, though, with Broncos, they did have, I think, 5 key players out. They had Pangai Jr., Fafita, Alex Glenn, and two
Staggs.
others. Tony Staggs
And Turpin.
They were all missing from that lineup. So it doesn't justify the scoreline, obviously, but they are first grade. Some of them even rep footy players that were missing. So Payne Haas had to take a lot of that load. The game is much faster these days, so with the set restart rule. So Payne Haas is obviously feeling the effects of that, playing 80 minutes. I don't think it's as bad for the Broncos. I think a few more games, getting all the rust off and getting their players back, I think they'll start, getting in that winners column again.
Do you think Seabold is the right man for the job? I mean, it's coming back to that question now. Everyone's talking about whether he was the right man to replace Wayne Bennett.
Seabold's always been a question mark for me. I'm not sure if he was a good coach because Rabbitohs were a good team, or if he was a good coach because, he was a good coach. So I think this season is going to pretty much justify and give everyone a better view of how Seabold is as a coach. And yeah, I think we'll find that out towards the end of the season.
The thing is, he got rid of a lot of experience, so this is his doing. You know what I mean? And the fact that he's got no answers, he's conceding. He's doing a lot of really weird stuff about, or almost conceding the game. And it puts the players down, their confidence and all that. Let's move on to some contenders or possible contenders that showed up on the weekend. Parramatta in Newcastle. Parramatta, they played pretty good in the first half. They're probably a bit lucky to get away with it, that forward pass. We'll talk about that. But just focusing on Newcastle, were you shocked about them dominating Canberra the way they did? I think I was, because I thought Canberra came off a big performance against Melbourne, in Melbourne, and to put in a performance like that the week after, it's a bit worrying.
To be honest with you, I actually tipped the Knights to beat Canberra.
Okay, there you
go. I saw how they played against Penrith without Mitchell Pearce and I keep forgetting their hooker's name. What was that hooker's name?
Connor Watson.
Connor Watson. The way they played against Penrith, they showed a lot of heart, and I believe they got Guerra, Mitchell Pearce back, and was Connor Watson playing on the weekend?
I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure if he was.
No, McCulloch went into dummy half.
McCulloch, there you go. Yeah. I saw them playing against Penrith, and I knew that they had it in them. They were also without Ponga against Penrith too, which he came back in and slotted really well this week. And to be honest, it didn't really surprise me how well they played. They showed really good form against Penrith. They showed a lot of heart. And I knew with Mitchell Pearce and Ponga there that they'll be able to execute those into points and make it really tough for the Raiders, which, I'm not saying I'm a guru, but I was right about that.
Props to you. I mean, look, they got another big challenge against Melbourne. Look, the key in rugby league, we all know this, is consistency. If you can back it up week to week, and that's when you truly know if a team is a real deal. Parramatta's been doing that. I know you're not too fond of them, but I keep saying it. They somehow they either get away with it, or they do just enough to get the victory. Is that enough for you to suggest they're true premiership threats?
I think Parramatta's got a lot of the rub the green recently. They've been getting a lot of calls that are 50-50 and they're going their ways. Small calls that could possibly change the game. I think Manly were very unlucky. I think they played really well. There was just lapses in their defense that caused them to give away cheap points.
What was it, a forward pass? I mean, I didn't think so. I didn't think it was a forward pass.
It's a slippery slope, right? I mean, you're always going to have the people that say it travelled forward, so it is a forward pass, and then you're going to have the people saying that, it went out of their hands backwards, and, physically it's just, it's always going to go forward going at that speed.
But that's the key, right? That's it. If it goes out the hands backwards, that's it. That's okay. And it looked like it. Or they admitted it.
Yeah, well, look, to be honest with you, I don't think Manly received that much of an advantage. I mean, if you look at it, the ball went maybe half a metre forward when it floated forward. And I don't think there was much of an advantage. Whether it went half a metre back and stayed at line ball, I think Manly was still scoring. So I think that try should have stood. But, it's just another part of NRL that, is unclear and complicates the rules. And you get a bunch of fans that are just divided. They don't know whether it's a forward pass or if it's out of the hands back.
So it's going to be an issue at the end of the day. And the problem I have is if this happens in a big game, finals, grand final, state of origin, it's going to be very costly. You know what I mean? Like I mean, if you don't solve it now, it's gonna be a big issue later on. Let's look forward to round 5. First game Thursday night, Manly versus Broncos. We were talking about it before. The Broncos shuffled their side around. Something big noteworthy. Ben Teo's back on the bench. Corey Oates moves to the back row. I mean, it's pretty drastic. Against the Manly side, who are reeling from last week. They'll be obviously dying to get a victory this weekend and avenge what happened. I think Manly will be too good.
Yeah, just having a look at the lineup for the Broncos and those 4 other than Katoni Staggs, Tavita Pangai Jr. still gone. The other one, what's his name?
Turpin,
and the other one, Tavita Pangai Jr. and Fafita are still out. So, yeah, I think Manly have got this in the bag. After last week's performance, Broncos just don't look like they're up to it.
Friday night, Warriors, Cowboys. Both coming off really disappointing losses. The Warriors, I mean, I didn't think they'd win, but I thought it'd be a bit close against Penrith. They were blown out the park. And Cowboys, pretty disappointed up at home against the underwhelming Sharks side. I think the Cowboys, Tamalolo, if he's back, he was obviously missing last week. He's the key. If he's back, I think Cowboys win 100%.
Yeah, look, it's a tough one here. Both teams were very, disappointing against the teams that they were playing last week. I think it was more disappointing coming from the Cowboys, losing to Cronulla after Cronulla had a terrible week prior to that. Penrith is always going to be a difficult task for the Warriors, but to be kept scoreless was also pretty disappointing. So it's a flip of the coin, and I think we're just going to have to say Cowboys in this one.
Saturday afternoon, Rabbitohs, Titans. I know the Rabbitohs Titans come off a big victory against Tigers late. First win in about a year, the Titans. The Rabbitohs have come off 2, not really bad losses. I mean, against the Roosters and Storm, it's pretty tough to verse them. Your first 2 games back from a big break, they showed a lot of toughness in those games. They get Cody Walker and James Roberts back. I think they're going to go on a bit of a run here, the Rabbitohs. I think they're going to take this one easily.
Yeah, I agree with that. Titans have been pretty average recently, and yeah, I think there's not much more to say to that. Rabbitohs, I think, are going to take that.
Knights Storm. We briefly touched on that. I think the Knights will win. I think the Knights will get the Storm. Jerome Hughes is out for the Melbourne Storm, and there's a bit of conjecture of where Cameron Smith's going to play, whether he stays at hooker or goes to halfback. So I think the Knights are a bit more settled at this time.
Yeah, I've been unimpressed with Melbourne over the last couple of weeks. I know they beat who they beat Canberra this week. Rabbitohs this week. But they didn't look convincing, to be honest. Rabbitohs were in the game all the way up until I think the 70th minute, and Melbourne went over and put the game out of reach. And prior to that, they lost Melbourne to Canberra, and yeah, I just don't think that Melbourne are hitting the form that they want to hit, and Newcastle are looking really, really good. They've won 3 out of 4, and I really think that Newcastle are going to take this one.
Tigers Raiders Saturday night. Tigers big shock for me. They dropped Benji Marshall. I'm not too sure why. He's probably been their best player to me. He's probably their most, the player that calms everyone down, that keeps that team intact. It's a big risk to get rid of him and put Reynolds in against the Canberra side. Obviously, again, they didn't play well last week. Ricky's obviously a bit angry. I think the Raiders might easily win this one.
Yeah, I think they've put in Josh Reynolds instead of Benji.
Yep.
And I don't really rate Reynolds as an NRL player. So I think I'm going to stick with Canberra on this one.
I think it's just a bit of a risk. I don't know what he's trying to prove there, Michael Maguire. He does this sometimes. Sunday afternoon, Bulldogs, Roosters. Roosters.
Yeah, we'll agree on that one.
And Sunday night, Dragons versus Sharks. Look, I think the Dragons can get a victory here. I'm not too sure about the Sharks. I know they won pretty well last week, but I think it's time. Well, they'll score a try at least. I think the Dragons will score a try.
Yeah, look, after watching the Dragons on Monday afternoon, they look terrible, honestly. To look terrible against the Bulldogs is a hard task, and they did that. And unless I see improvement this week, I'm not gonna be putting more money on Dragons. I think Cronulla are gonna take this one out.
Fair point. But our match of the week obviously is the Eels and Panthers on Friday night, 7:30. It's a big game for both teams, both undefeated, I'm pretty sure. Parramatta, again, they just got away over last week. Panthers are on a bit of a roll now. They get Cleary back. Parramatta get Nathan Brown back. I think it's going to be a big in for the Panthers. I think he'll have a bit bigger effect on them than Nathan Brown. I think Panthers can get the Parramatta Eels this week.
Yeah, I think we've been saying that for the last couple of weeks about every team that plays Parramatta. But Penrith is my team. I think I have to agree
with that
one.
When did that happen?
It's been, I think, about a couple of months.
Fair enough.
And look, Penrith have got a really young, strong forward pack. James Fisher-Harris is playing out of his skin. He's absolutely killing it. I think he's top 5, Dally M players so far this season. He's absolutely destroying it. You got your experience in Tarmau. You got Yao Yi. No, not Yao Yi. Isaac Yeo, sorry. And then you've got, what's his name? Edwards on the bench.
Is he back? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, he is. I saw the lineup. He is back this week. And they've got Burden on the bench too. And then you got, Curacao through dummy half. I think Parramatta are going to find it very, very tough, provided they don't get every call their way. I think Penrith will take this one.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game. Make sure you catch all those games, and we'll see you soon.